we have people say to us, oh, this wasn't successful. And it might have been like, I said, how many DMs do you do? Show me your tracking sheet. Well, they're not fucking tracking. So that's like not tracking your calories, the client not tracking the calories. And then it's like, how many DMs did you do that day? Oh, I did 10. You're supposed to do 100, right? And then it's like, what about the day after? Oh, I did 30. What about the day after? Oh, I didn't do any that day. What about the day after? Yeah, I didn't do any that day either. And it's that's like your fucking client going, yeah, I'm not tracking.
It's like delayed gratification, isn't it? The work you're putting in now, you're not going to see for months on end, but you know it's for the greater good. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, when they go through traumas in their life, they need to implement things like this and strategies that they know is going to benefit them, regardless of how it makes them feel right then and there, you know?
Like, don't plan it. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel just like people like, fuck it, you just do. Like, because Hormozy said it, innit? It's like the best way to stay broke is fucking start tomorrow. Right?
Oh, mate.
So you could plan it for fucking years and wait for everything to be perfect. But it's like, just fucking start. That's all we did. So, welcome to this podcast. The boys from Elevate. I'm Jamie. I'm here with my business partner, Josh Mooney. So I guess today we're just going to get into a little bit of conversation about how Elevate came about, what we're doing right now, how we got involved in business together, a bit about the background and the stories, really. So I guess I'm going to go over to Josh first, and I guess the question would be, how did you get started in like social media, fitness, that industry?
From the beginning. Oh, wow. I mean, for me, fitness has always been like part of my life. It's ever since I was a kid, do you know what I mean? Played rugby from a young age, went to university, dropped out, but I always went back to my fitness. And then it obviously just made sense for me to go down that route rather than pushing down other avenues. Then obviously you start to train, you enjoy it because you start to look good. And then I became a PT. And then working endless hours on the PT, on the gym floor. And that's when life kind of hits. Like you realize that your passion and your hobbies turn into work. And that's when the fun kind of comes away from it.
Stops, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I remember 23 to 25, I started doing like taking it proper seriously, created a rubbish website, shitty little website, mate. And I didn't get a client for months. And I was training in a gym in Manchester.
Was this with Owen?
No. It was a rooftop private. Yeah, the rooftop private gym. They did an event that.
Oh yeah,
with Jeff Side. Yeah. I was training there, and I had like a couple of clients a week, bro. It was awful. And obviously, this was in the time when I started going on TV shows. I thought I was gonna like push my site, and yeah, it can to a degree. It did, but obviously, 16-year-old girls aren't like the clientele that I particularly wanted at the time.
Do you know what, you say that, right? Like, I remember like our first crack at it. I remember us recording these fucking workouts. It was before like the ebook days and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be fucking rich here. I was like, Lewis and Owen got all these followers on Twitter, right? And I was like, they've got this social media profile. And then we did these things where we went to the gym, got a videographer, did like a back workout, chest workout, all that. It was just a video. And I was like, all right, put these online for like a tenner, right? And I was like, if we get 1,000 people to download these, because they had all these followers, and nobody fucking downloaded. Do you know what I mean? It felt like a failure straight off the bat.
That's the thing though, even now, bro, like people look at people's followings and they instantly think they're going to do well, and even brands do it. Brands will reach out to people on Instagram, look at their following. Oh yeah, that's sick. It's
going to get me sales.
They're not looking at the demographic at all. They're just, they're doing it, and then they're actually in a loss. So they'll have these people on a monthly retainer. And then
we used to do it on a flake.
Yeah.
Like, it was like paying people to put it on them, and like bring in like pretty much no sales. It was like that whole discount culture, wasn't it? You know, like because Couture slapped it off that, but like I just couldn't make it work. Probably our product wasn't good enough. But yeah, I remember like Lewis and Owen. I mean, we started well on One Athletic. Lewis and Owen managed to drive some sales, but then it's all about getting like the following doesn't do what people assume it's going to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got to have your niche, innit? When you're getting followed, like, so this is kind of going back to what I was saying. Me going on TV shows did open a lot of doors, but specifically as a coach, it didn't get me the right clientele that I wanted. And that's where people get it wrong when they think just because they've got a big following,
Oh, mate.
doesn't mean they're going to do well.
Mate, it's like when we talk to clients and stuff, and or we have some people with like millions of followers who aren't doing as well on the platform as people with 50k followers, 70k followers, or whatever, because it's all about providing value to an audience, and over time proving to that audience that you're there to help and that you can actually add value to their life or solve their problems. Whereas like some people, it's mad where some people like put up a link and don't get sales and they complain about it, but it's like, you can't just fucking put up a link these days. Like, people want more than that. Like, why should they buy from you and not someone else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but another thing, because when you're in that world as well, you get a lot of stuff free, right? You get stuff thrown at you, and that means you take things for granted. So when, like, specifically speaking with our business, we know it's like setting things up for people, and then they expect a lot of results very quick without giving the value and the work that is actually needed behind it. And that's actually, we've learned that pretty quick.
Oh, mate.
Like, yeah, like you say, you need to be able to provide value behind your platform. But
yeah, I mean, like, it's an interesting point there about the whole getting things so easily, because I think it does, like, it reduces people's drive and work ethic to go and get something themselves. So that's where people have a problem when they come from that life of having success for nothing, success in monetary value for nothing, or for not a lot, essentially. And then to actually grow a business, and you have to actually put some serious work in, becomes a problem.
yeah, the thing is, because everything's very easy. Like, I used to live off brand deals, bro. Instagram posts, brand deals, for a long time, and it was literally taking pictures, taking content. It's not work, mate. But at the end of the day, I didn't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was mine. So there was no passion behind it. Yeah, you like to do a photo shoot and post good pictures on Instagram, but it's not like there's no passion in it.
Yeah,
and that's the
it's
thing.
just money in it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of quick getaways for these people. But then again, social media is not going to last forever. Instagram's going to be taken over by TikTok, all this kind of stuff, and your looks ain't going to last. So you need to use it while you've got it.
Yeah, I think I think we've done right to do what we're doing. I mean, I say we because I've never been in that social media world, right? That platform that I've got now is one that we built under the Harrison twins kind of brand. We could just do whatever we wanted with that page. So I'm not talking about myself here when I'm saying, like, when I say we're doing what we're doing, I'm talking you, Lewis, Owen, and me as a collective. It's like, imagine if we'd have not started learning what we started learning a few years back and actually pushing this shit. Like, where would everyone be right now? Obviously, you had the platform. Lewis and Owen did as well with me, but to hit the levels of success that we had now, it's just a good job that we started learning the skills that we did.
Yeah, 100%. But interesting, right? So it's just like, when we, how many times we reach out to coaches on a daily basis, right? And some of the replies we get back are quite blunt because they're happy of where they're at. That was me. I was happy where I was at. And if I didn't make the connections with you boys and do what we did, I wouldn't have done 98 grand in my first month.
Oh, mate.
I would have been happy on my 25 grand a month, which I was on with my own platform. I was like, sweet, I'm smashing it. This is me good. I would have never done that unless I didn't have it. And it's frustrating to actually speak to coaches who give the same answer that I didn't.
Yeah, because so what would be interesting here, I guess, so jumping forward from where, like, the start of your journey, but the start of our journey together, I guess, a couple of years ago, or coming up a couple of years ago. So that came about through, I guess, me, you and Lewis had a conversation, and then you ended up at Owen's. And then, so talk to us about that situation. And I know that you watched me and Owen do essentially a sales call. And it was from that moment you text me pretty much straight after that saying, right, I want to do it. So go through, I guess, the thought process of where you were, how that call, watching that call change things, or like what limit and belief potentially that took away. And then
yeah, I mean, fast forwarding up to there, like, had my own platform and it was doing well. It was about 25 grand a month and I was comfortable. I was happy there. And then I remember the conversation. I was at Owen's in Barcelona. You were like, right, we're going to sell high ticket for 1,600 for 16 weeks. I was like, there's not a chance anyone's buying that. No chance. Bearing in mind at the time I was doing, what was it, $40 a month on my platform for the masses. And it really comes down to believing in yourself. Like, what did I do? That first day I must have closed like a few people, and I was like, I've just made $3,000 in the space of about 4 hours. Yeah. I was like, let's go again.
You get addicted to the calls.
You get so addicted, and once you've got a few in, and then you get the results of these clients, because these guys are financially, emotionally invested in it, so they're naturally going to be way better results and way faster.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole thing kind of snowballs after that. But it is, I was shocked. I would have never had the balls to do that by myself, because I didn't believe in myself at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know why you fucking did either.
Well, it's funny because like, so we closed that guy, and then you pretty much text me straight away. So obviously you've seen it can be done, and then we set it up, and then like, I guess like run through like the emotional fucking roller coaster of that, run through like the high of those like first 3 months or whatever, and what that was like.
Oh, bro. Started taking crack for this. I'm joking. Do you know, it just opened out like your mind up. That's like the emotional side of it. I mean, our confidence went up through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never done sales before in my life, really. I'd done Instagram stuff, like trying to push the platform. But then when we dialed in and started to really believe in ourselves, those first 3 months were probably one of the highest earning quarters that we've done. Do you know what I mean? Because we were so excited about everything as well.
Yeah.
Having 10 grand days on a Monday, finishing for the weekend on a Tuesday.
oh mate. It was like, yeah, because I remember not long into it. So I think we were doing like, I remember this period where we did 10 grand a day for 14 days straight. Or it was a minimum 10 grand a day for 14 days straight. And that, I think it was like June or something, like maybe May, June, something like that in like 2021.
Yeah.
Like, and it was, and we were just winging it. Like we winged our way to a million. Like, still fucking winging it now. But like, and what's interesting is like, so there's just levels to just thinking now, there's levels to your own like beliefs or thoughts, because it's like, so it's like that conversation there where you were selling something at 40 a month, and then you were like, nah, no one can sell at 1,600. And then we were selling at 1,600, and I was like, how the fuck are these people? And we used to do OFB, right? And that was 4 bag. But I was like, how the fuck are these people selling at 10 grand? Like, what are they doing? Do you know what I mean? And then like, all of a sudden we create like an 11 to 15K package. Do you know what I mean? And then we're doing it. And then it's like, you know, it's crazy how like, I would have never thought we'd be selling an 11K package. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's so gradual. Going back to like the emotional side of it, when I remember at the time, I remember thinking, I was like, everything I've been doing, majority of my life has led up to this, through getting a platform, the socials, doing the PT, and I've been through the pains of doing badly in the gym, endless hours, poor online, and then grown, done low ticket, done high ticket, I've done every aspect of this business, and then we just nailed it on the head. I feel like that's how it should be for when you succeed. You go through all of it, trial and error, and then something clicks.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to hit it on the nail on the head first time. No way.
No, I agree. I think as well, looking back on what you're saying there, like I'm thinking there's so many inefficiencies at that time. We ran it all off sheets. We had no CRM. We weren't really tracking a lot of things. Like, do you know how many conversations that we were highlighting the sheet orange? So we used to highlight the sheet orange for contacted, but then we had no fucking follow-up. If they didn't come back to us, that was that. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we stayed on them. I kind of figured out why they didn't want to speak to us. You know, I feel like we made that first 7 figures or whatever in the transformations or online coaching. And then it's like, realistically, that could have been like treble the amount of money if we had a proper follow-up procedure and we had proper setters, and we were just fucking winging it, doing it ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, I actually I'm looking back at it now, I'm thinking about it right now, I'm actually pissed off.
We've still got them. Go back if you want.
Yeah. Get someone in there now. Like, because there's so many fucking leads. That's the thing, like people struggle for, I feel like, it's like when I chat to like Steve and that, and I say fucking like what you guys did, like hats off to him, because I was like, we had it easier, I feel.
We did have it easy.
Mate, we could post and pull in fucking leads. They have to like
Outreach.
do a lead magnet that's completely in that niche and then pop that out there, bring people in for free, have the skill of then nurturing that lead and then selling them, right? Whereas we can just be like, right, you in, right? Do you know what I mean? And
I think that was a blessing and a curse with the size of the followings we had. There was such an influx of leads that came in. We couldn't, at the start, we would have been able to track it. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know the tracking systems. We didn't know what CRM is, all that kind of stuff. But
I didn't even know what fucking Avatar was, bro.
Yeah.
Just whacking it out there.
Yeah.
Fucking mental. And I think, but I tell you what was good about it is, I don't know, the motivation it gave you to fucking carry on and like actually drive, like, you know, towards where we are now, because you don't want to stop you're doing them 10k days or whatever, and you never want to do less.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I feel like that was a blessing. We got better at sales a lot quicker because we had that many calls. You know, like imagine, look at how many calls you did in your first month, right? Someone else like getting into the online coaching space, it would take them a year to get that many calls. So the practice you got in of like the appointment setting, making sure people are going to show up to calls, to close, just taking payment, onboarding, all that kind of stuff.
It's some of the most valuable skills I've learned about sales in those first few months. That I've never done a training course on sales or anything in my life, but fuck me, it worked. Do you know what I mean? Right. Learning about the psychology of how to get around people's like problems on the call and this, that, and the other. It's really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, mate. Like it's I'd look back though. We were so shit at sales. We did all that. We were so shit at sales. I still have some calls now, and I'm like, I'm halfway through, and I'm like, that wasn't the best. I should have asked that fucking question. Really, I've not dealt with that very well. But you're learning, right? I think I'm going to try and get myself out of sales.
Yeah. Do you know what the good thing is though? Because we know what the potentials are that you can do. Yeah, granted, we're in a good position because of followings and that and the other, but we know for a fact, just off like a niche working with you, don't need big followings to do the numbers, like 5-6 figures. Do you know what I mean? And when we have people sign on now and when they commit to the cause, i.e. Danny A's, do you know what I mean? Oh, bro, 15 grand from being homeless. It's so rewarding.
He's done like 5 grand this week.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
Like, what a guy.
It's so rewarding though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great helping people get to that. And I'll tell you what is good as well. It's like, you know, some of these people who have got like a decent following and they're sat on something they don't realize, you know, when you can help them do it as well. Do you know what I mean? Because they build this following, they might be hustling so hard. I mean, if you look at Harriets launch, for example, you look at Harriets launch, for example, I'm not going to say figures, but like so successful in a short period of time, which is now recurring revenue in 1 week. Like that's going to be a 6-figure a month business pretty quickly.
I watched the story yesterday. She's in Gucci buying a full outfit.
I saw it, yeah. Fucking sick.
Nice one, Jose.
Fucking hell. But yeah, but so like going back into the whole business chat, I guess. So you said before about everything has led. You say this quite frequently. Everything that we've ever done has led us to this point, and etc. Just delve into that and what you mean by that.
Even not just talking about myself. I'm talking about the whole team. Like the combination, obviously. Like I met you through your brothers, right? But how you were a teacher prior to getting into this, and the skill set you have, meaning you're so good with people and how to educate people. Combine that with my attributes, it levels out. And it shows, do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, that was mad. Because when we first started the business, I was still in the fucking classroom. Like, I remember like, I'd finished teaching a lesson, because the kids were back after COVID. Finished teaching this lesson and like, I'd see my messages and you're like, it's pinged off from you. It's like, yeah, we've signed this person, signed this person, signed this person. I was still sending out fucking agreements at that point. But like, we were just having it off, weren't we? And it's just a mad period of our lives. But I get what you're saying about the whole education stuff now. When you actually look at us doing Elevate Agency and the Academy, it's like, and we're teaching people how to, grow their businesses, etc. It's very easy for me to kind of put across how to do it for people who are at different stages of their development. Do you know what I mean? Because I did it for a decade. I was teaching for a decade. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get it. And even like your relationship with Lewis and Owen and how long that went on for, and Lewis and Owen growing their profile in fitness. Do you know what I mean? And then just combining all this stuff.
The network, like they say, your network's your net worth, isn't it? And we know a lot of people. You can contact pretty much anyone in the fitness industry via social media, which is a blessing. Do you know what I mean? Like
with what we do, yeah.
It's absolutely wild, bro.
You look at how many clients we've got now. We're not even going a year on Elevate Agency. So if anyone's watching and wondering like how it got from here to where it is, like yes, we were doing the high ticket, we did the low ticket, we had all these skills, etc. Then we started doing revenue share deals with other influencers where we'd run their high ticket for them. So Elevate Agency is not in its infancy in terms of, the experience that we have in doing this stuff is pretty vast. But then Elevate Agency as a business itself hasn't been going a year, and we got knocking on 200 clients already, man.
Yeah, it's
like we're running 200 businesses.
It's 12th of March. That's when it kicked off, yeah.
Fucking hell.
It's not even a year, mate.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's tough though. Every level has a different devil.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, it's so true.
Crop that one.
Every level has a different devil. It's true, isn't it? Like if you go back, like obviously from the low ticket, I thought I was doing well. Went to high ticket, slapped it. But we were more free then because that first year was we
had it off.
We had it off, but we didn't have that many overheads. You know what I mean? But now we've got a full team and a lot of people to look after, a lot of fulfillment, and it
feels like more of a business now, though, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like then 100%. It was just like making cash.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was.
Whereas now it actually feels like a business.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's really rewarding, But yeah, it keeps us up at night. That's for sure.
Just a fucking bit. It's the West Coast keeps us up at night. So much work with America. It's fucking. I'll tell you what, though, if anyone's setting up like any kind of business like this in the future, and if you are in the UK, just fucking try and deal with America loads, and just anywhere outside of Europe, really, because mate, we don't even have to VAT register, bro, because all of our payments are coming from over fucking seas. It's amazing.
I know.
It's good because we don't make any fucking purchases, so we'd never be able to claim that back. We'd literally just lose 20% on that.
Yeah, sound.
Fucking mental. So what we did earlier is Joss put out on his story that we were doing this kind of podcast. So I'm just going to look at some of the responses or questions here. You've got one which is clap, love, heart, kiss. So that's a good one.
Is that from your mum?
No, from my mum, did you say?
Is that from your mum? Yeah. Cheers, Jan.
Fucking hell. One sec, here we go. Right. I'm not going to jump straight into that one, but so how do you keep up with your fitness / work balance? So I'll just look at some of these. You can take some, I'll take some. But
do you know what? Like my life, it might look all glamorous and stuff on Instagram, but like it is just work and training all the time, bro. And like it's literally. Well, hold on. What's the question again?
So, how do you keep up with fitness and work balance?
I mean, there is no work balance in that. It's just full steam ahead until Saturday night when I want to let my hair down. Like, well, our schedules are mad. Like, do you know what? Like, I try and give myself the morning to get all my training and everything out the way, and then I'll be at my desk until late evening when calls are done. Do you know what I mean? There's no balance with it. And that's the thing with this. When you've got your own business, you don't want balance. You want to go full steam ahead. There's always something else you can do or something you can delve into or a problem to be fixed. It's absolutely endless. And I think that's generally what it takes to keep going, isn't it? You can't clock out 9 to 5. You have to do those extra hours.
No, 100%. I think you're right there, though. I think touching on what you're saying there about fitness and work balance, allocating like you time for a certain period of time. I feel like it's sometimes harder for me. In the morning, I'll wake up to like 40 WhatsApps or something, and this is going on in a business or that's going on in a business, this, that, and the other. But I try to have my day, my calendar starts at 11 essentially, and if I have to book any meetings pre that, I will. But then like So I try and get the gym and all that out of the way in the morning, and then I can literally just lock in for the rest of the day. But I think for advice for anyone young starting out who wants to really push the business and keep their fitness and health in check, for me, it's just about creating a routine that works for you, that allows you to.
Yeah, you know? and don't jump into all this bullshit about you have to meditate and stretch and get in the ice bath. You're wasting 3 hours of your day. Get up, get into work. You'll feel a lot better if you're making money rather than having an ice bath, trust me. But like, you do need to like have some time for yourself. Like, you can't just be going, whether it's a few hours, you know what I mean? Training, stuff that's going to benefit you, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays with social media, people are just making all these rituals you should be doing on a morning.
It's bullshit. Well, whatever works for you, innit? Like,
yeah, but I mean, me working out, that's therapy. That's working out all in a big bowl.
Innit?
Yeah.
I'm just going to lead on to this next one here. I'll take this. So talk about how to grow a business online. So I'm assuming this is a fitness business. So I'll tell you exactly how we started, right? So when I launched it with Owen, Owen had a massive following, right? So if you have a big following, literally all you need to do is get a type form together. Type form is going to cost you 70 quid a month, something like that. 70, 79 quid a month. The reason why you want to go for that paid option is because it allows you to do a redirect at the end of the type form. So once someone's completed the type form, it'll allow you to put a redirect onto a Calendly. Then they can automatically book a call. So they automatically book a call. Then what you want to do after that call booking, you want to redirect on Calendly to an external site. And there's a video of you explaining why people need to work with you, or why you are the guy or the girl in that arena to work with, or in that kind of niche to work with. Have a load of testimonials below, etc. You also lay expectations for the call. That's what you need to do. Then what you do is you need to do posts that drive people to that type form link and get them to fill it out, right? So you could do that in your story. You can do that. You obviously have the link in your bio, do a post, drive people there. But realistically, you've also got to add a lot of value over a period of time in your niche so that people want to fill that form out. So that's how I would do it. I'll get people on a sales call. I'll go high ticket, like 300 a month or 400 a month, something like that. And do an upfront payment option, $1,000, 1,200, 1,600, something like that. And you're try and close people there, and then you're going to fulfill them. You don't like need too much fancy at that point. That's how you should start. And then also I would just add on to that, because not a lot of people are going to have a massive following. And jump in after this if you want, Josh, but if not a lot of people are going to have a massive following. So what you need to do is pretty much send 100 messages a day in your niche. Now there's different ways to do that. I'm not going to delve into them massively now, but you need to do 100 messages a day. If you do 100 messages a day, 5 days a week, so you got 2,000 messages going out every single month. How many conversations are going to get started? Probably quite a lot if you are good at DM communication and you don't go straight into the pitch or the sell or try and get them on a call. Build a relationship, find out that they can find out that you can solve their problems, and then you can get them on a call, right? So if you did 2,000 messages a month, can you make 10 grand a month? Yes, period. That should be sufficient, right, for anyone watching?
Yeah, that's just one system as well.
Yeah, true. You
can provide downsell options. Honestly, it's just about getting started and literally learning not to give a shit about what other people think with your business. People are too scared about not getting content out because of either lack of engagement or they don't know what to say. Learn what to say, give free value, pump it out on a regular basis, and you will get traction. You'll convert that traction into clients. Like, it's as simple as that. I see too many people on social media not posting because they don't like. I've been through it as well. Like with the algorithms on social media nowadays, people get scared to post because they're not going to get the likes. But then, so they'll post once a week and they'll stack up the likes on that one post all week. It might look good on your feed, yeah, but you could be posting every single day throughout the week, getting maybe a quarter amount of your likes, but you're seeing so many more people are seeing that post, more value. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So overall, you are actually getting your profile out to more people. It just doesn't look as good on your page, but people are so egotistical. They want to have the likes and the views for their mind. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But like in reality, you need 2 to 5 clients per day or week on high ticket to do really well.
Bro. So like, so $4,000, $6,000 a month is really, really good, isn't it? Like for like, what's an average salary in the UK? 2 and a bit grand. $6,000 a month is really good. Imagine you sell like literally 4 1,500 quid packages. If you do 2,000 messages and you do 2,000 messages, your content is right for your niche, right? And they can see that you can help and you've got a good offer. If you do 2,000 messages to the right people, which is very easy, it's long, but it's quite simple. Can you get 4 sales? 1 sale a week? Yes.
Honestly, obviously because we've done it, we've been there, right? But there actually isn't an excuse, right? If you get set up a type form and you've got some sort of script within the DM, like you say, if you DM 40 people every day, which Instant allows you, 5 to 7 will get back to you, 2 to 3 will book in a call, close 1. Do that every single day throughout the month and you will earn good money. It's literally as simple as that. It's consistency with that. And this can all be done remotely. You've got no excuse as a coach. And then you'll prevail, you know?
That leads into the next one here, like being able to work remotely and traveling. Like,
I mean,
just, I guess, how good is it? Right.
It's not, but do you know what? Nowadays, you can earn more money online anyway than a 9 to 5. So I don't know why more people don't like encourage it.
It's insane.
It's obviously a safety thing. And this is like, I went to university for 2 years and I dropped out because I never want to work for anyone. I always got fired from my job. But yeah, no, I'm not this one yet. Good job hearing it. But like, people go to uni and go do, like, they'll go into a job that restricts them so much. And then, I don't know what road I'm going down here with that.
I think you're talking essentially about,
you can earn more money online. So I don't know why people ask like why it's, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You're talking about security and that you know, and I see that because I used to be in that. I used to be a teacher, right? And when it really hit home for me is when Amy went back to work after what happened with Harper, and the leaders and the bosses were shit with her, proper shit, even though she was dope at her job. And what happened was she ended up leaving and whatnot. And I think I went for a promotion or something and I was like, I'm fucking right for this. But the new boss was shit. Didn't understand. Like, it's just not good for that college. And I looked at it and I was like, I'm just forever going to be at the mercy of someone, because I could have gone and earned like 150 grand a year or whatever doing that, right? Eventually. But I was always going to be at the mercy of someone else's decision making until I got there. Do you know what I mean? And then after what happened with Amy, I was just like, nah, fuck this. Like, I back me. You know, like when we started earning that money, I'm like, I back me more than I back anyone, right? So it's like, I think the more people need to eventually get to that mindset where it's like, just fucking throw yourself in. You can go and do it. I mean, obviously build it as a side hustle first, but
so Chris Williamson was talking about this. Is actually called a specific type of feeling, right? So, oh God, what is it? It's really interesting. It's about like, if you get to a certain point, if something is within a mile, right, you'll walk it. If it's over a mile, you'll drive it. So up until that point, you'd rather you're satisfied, but it takes something for you to, if something drastic happens in your life, it's a blessing and a curse to force you to do better. Does that kind of make sense? I need to watch it on there. I was trying to find it. It's really
we'll talk about it on the next one.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Right. So you said about something drastic in your life there. And then someone in here, as you've seen, has put your father. So like
Big Mike.
So talk us through, just talk us through about like, not what happened there, but like how it affected you. How do you think it still affects you now, positively or negatively, or both? Yeah.
So obviously, for those who don't know, my father passed away when I was 16 from a heart attack. And I guess at that point, whether I liked it or not, I became the man of the house. And I think from a young age, I've always been, just felt like I needed to step up to the plate. And I've always had like my family in the back of my head that I've never wanted to work for anyone else. And I felt like I needed to be my own man because of that. How it's affected me, I'm not, it's probably subconsciously has, but it drives me a lot more than I think I know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Just,
Because you don't talk about it much, do you?
not really, no. Like I was, when it all happened.
Like we speak fucking 20 times a day and we never really speak about it.
Never address anything like this. I mean, not even my mum. My mum still thinks I should go to counselling for it because I never spoke about it. I cried once and that was in private. Everyone was like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why is he not upset? His father's just died. But obviously I probably do need some counselling down the line. But how it has affected me today, do you know what? I was always like the skinniest and smallest kid at school. And at that age, when you're 16, I never had a father to go to. So I had to fucking strap my laces up real quick and learn to deal with the shit that life throws at you. So I had to grow up really fast. And I was actually like a late bloomer as well. And I was small, and that's why I started to go to the gym, because that made me give me some sort of empowerment, I guess. And I think I've always had that drive up until now. I've got something in my head where I need to prove the world wrong.
Yeah. You've said that before.
Yeah, I feel like I'm doing it. It's probably really unhealthy, but I feel like I need to prove the world wrong. Because when I was younger, like I had a shit time at school and I was small and I didn't have anyone to turn to for it. Because yeah, it'd be good to go to my mum, but like I didn't have a dad to turn to, so I wouldn't want to go to her. It was weird. So I guess that like how it's helped me drive. It's helped drive me as a man today, and I probably do need to speak about it more, because it's a pretty traumatic thing to happen in anyone's life. But if anyone asks me, I'm fine.
Innit?
Yeah.
No, it is interesting. Like you talk about, like people. I think on the way over here, we've seen it on some kind of content about something bad happening in people's lives, and it becomes like a bit of a drive. Well, I actually think it can, one or two things can happen, right? You can either go down a fucking hole, right? Which is kind of fine for a little bit, and do you know what I mean? Like when Harper died, it was dark. Like it was the 2 weeks after that was fucking dark, right? And but it gets to a point, and I think I don't really cry about it much, but even in that time I didn't. And after that fucking first day, but I think it gets to a point where it becomes a choice to live in that moment of sadness forever. Do you know what I mean? And it's either like you kind of use it to do something positive and drive on, or you end up in this hole where like the world's against you, and it's not, because the world keeps on turning and you have a set period of time here. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you can wallow in your self-pity. You've got two options, like you say. You've got a positive one and a negative one. You can either use it or lose it. But I think that really comes down to actually your upbringing, people around you and stuff like that. Like my default was to always go to the gym.
Yeah.
I can actually say the gym probably like saved me as a person, because when you go to the gym, it's not just training and getting all jacked up. It's the whole thought process of doing things that like is hard, that makes you better, whether you like it or not. And that healthy and positive mindset, and it's like delayed gratification, isn't it? The work you're putting in now, you're not going to see for months on end, but you know it's for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people, when they go through traumas in their life, they need to implement things like this and strategies that they know is going to benefit them, regardless of how it makes them feel right then and there, you know?
Do you know what? I've got something to add to that just quickly. Like fucking fitness people are sometimes the worst for this as well. Cheers. It's like you said then about putting in the work over a long period of time, even though you're not seeing the result. So trainers fucking know that when they get a client comes in, right, it's a long period of time doing things consistently, doing the right things consistently over time, and eventually it brings a result. Because you go to the gym day one, trying on a fat loss journey, and you go home, you look in the mirror, you see fuck all. You do the same again the day after, you see fuck all. Third day, you see nothing, so on and so forth. But you know that if you keep doing those things, because your trainer's directing you, like over time, you're going to get in shape, right? But then what happens is when these the same trainers who know that process want to do a fucking fitness business and they don't see success instantly, it's like, oh, it doesn't work. It's like, no. You got to do the right things consistently over time, like you tell your fucking clients to do, and then your business will fucking work as well. Do you know what I mean?
It's so true, but that comes down to being mentally stimulated and physically. It's the difference between them, because a lot of trainers they'll become trainers because they like to go to the gym and work their muscles out. Whereas when you go into the business side of it, it's working your mind. You need to be able to put the reps in mentally and not just physically. Does that make sense? Because it's so true. I've been there. Like, it's so, I go to the gym when I'm so fucking tired sometimes, because I just go because I know it's good for me. Yeah. But then sitting on my phone doing outreach and doing DM I'm literally doing nothing but moving my fingers, and sometimes I haven't done it when I should have to get clients. Does that make sense? I'd rather go to the gym and bust my nuts when I'm so tired than sit and do DM work, because it's the difference between mental and physical. Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of coaches need to fucking get around.
Yeah, it's like, totally take that point. It's like a different discipline.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting point, because some people go, ooh, I did this and it wasn't successful. But when you really look at the reasons why, it's like, how long did you actually try it for? And what were you doing? And with what consistency? You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's like, you know, we talked about before doing 100 messages a day, and Josh said you can do 40. So you could do, I think we believe that Instagram stops you messaging people cold at about 50, right? So what you could do is you could do 100, because you could follow a few hundred people. When they follow you back, you can message them, because you can do an unlimited number of people who follow you, right? Now, when you would say to someone, if they're started, the reason why we're talking about DM as well, yes, there are other ways of client acquisition and lead flow, so ads, etc. But when you're first starting out, you don't have a fucking budget. You know, you're starting with nothing. So you're best off just trading your time, right? So just pay your dues with the time and do the DM. But we have people say to us, oh, this wasn't successful. And it might have been like, I said, how many DMs do you do? Show me your tracking sheet. Well, they're not fucking tracking. So that's like not tracking your calories, a client not tracking the calories. And then it's like, how many DMs did you do that day? Oh, I did 10. You're supposed to do 100, right? And then it's like, what about the day after? Oh, I did 30. What about the day after? Oh, I didn't do any that day. What about the day after? Yeah, I didn't do any that day either. And that's like your fucking client going, yeah, I'm not tracking. Yeah, I went to the gym, it was half an hour. Yeah, I went to the gym, it was half an hour, but I ate a load of shit. Didn't go to the gym, do you know what I mean? There's so much inconsistency over time. And that's why the fucking business didn't work. Do you know what I mean?
Glasses have fallen down.
Oh, fucking sort them out, pal.
No, that's so true. It's so true. Yeah, it's just being able to
switched on, Anna. So coming to the end of that with the questions, like this, the aim of this kind of session here was to just talk a little bit about how we got involved together in business, how we kind of grew our business, and then answered a few questions to hopefully give some insight to, you know, new coaches or whatever starting out, who want to grow their business. So
I was just going to say, like, when you are getting into business and stuff like that, like, I've had other business before, and it usually comes off like friendship. You need to find a team that balances each other out. Do you know what I mean? Sure. I think that's so important. Alex Cannon spoke about it the other day. Him and Danny, their strengths are totally different, and it's so important to have that, because then it molds together perfectly. So when you are actually thinking about going into business with people, just be careful. Like, obviously, usually it's going to come off a friendship, right? On the back of a friendship, but I wouldn't mix business and friendship if you're friends first. If that makes sense. Because it can just fuck it up. It's like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not in like a bad way, but like because usually if you're friends, you're similar.
Yeah. I get your point.
Not that we're not similar, but like attributes wise,
I think one thing I would say about starting off in business is like, don't plan it. Like, do you know what I mean? I feel
Just
like people like, fuck it. You just do, like, cause Hormozy said it, innit? It's like the best way to stay broke is fucking start tomorrow. Right?
Oh, mate.
So you could plan it for fucking years and wait for everything to be perfect. But it's like, just fucking start. That's all we did.
Anything in life, if you want it, start yesterday, just go. And also a lot of people before they start that, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? You haven't got there yet. So just worry about that when you're there. It's like when we were on sales calls, we're like, we haven't got the team to do all this fulfillment. It's like, to get the sale, we'll worry about that.
I remember you said,
people sign up.
You said that to me at one point. You were like, yeah, what about this? So I was like, it's not, that problem doesn't exist yet. Let's make the problem, then we'll fix it.
Make the problem.
It's like when I first started signing people on Owens, and it was like fucking COVID, and me and Andy were both in the top floor classroom. I was like, bro, Owen posted last night. Let's go classroom now, right? So run up. I'd be like getting on the lead sheet. It's like 100 leads coming. I was like, bro, 100 leads coming. He's like, yeah, sweet. He's there on a work laptop, fucking writing out plans. Like I'd made sales. And I'd gone into work the next day. I was like, I need to speak to you, bro. I was like, I was going to do the plans myself, but it just doesn't fucking make sense. Do you want to do some plans? He was like, yeah. I said, right, I'll give you 500 quid. And then he was like, and then I was like, do you want to do some nutrition as well? And then we just ended up going, right, I'll give you $1,000. Like, it just then ended up going like that. It was just fucking start, wing it, don't worry about, the point of this is don't worry about a problem that doesn't fucking exist. It's better to get in a situation where it's very difficult to fulfill and then fix that problem. You know what I mean? Because that'll just cause people to fucking never start, you know?
100%.
But
I'm trying to think of another valuable point. What you tell like a newbie when starting your business.
Wing it.
Sign up with us. We'll teach you.
And on that note, I guess we can leave it there.